Hello everybody, welcome back to the PrepZone preview show for the second round of the FHSAA playoffs. Now it was a thrilling first round, a ton of great games, but only 2 of our 6 local teams survived. That means only 2 games this week. One of them features the Naples High School Golden Eagles. That's where we're at this week at Naples High, scene of a tremendous first round game that we'll talk about later. But first, let's break down the 2 games we've got coming up this week. Starting off in Class 5A, we've got a grudge match, Dunbar at Immokalee. This is the 3rd straight year these 2 teams have played in the regional semifinals. Dunbar won in 2015, Immokalee won in 2016. This is the 6th time these teams have played in the past 3 years, 7 times if you count a playoff tiebreaker back in 2016. It's a blossoming rivalry. They're calling it the Battle of 82, referencing State Road 82, which connects Dunbar High School to Immokalee, so look for a hard-fought battle in 5A. In Class 6A, our game of the week, we've got Largo at 8-2 coming down to Naples High School, which is 8-1. Largo won last week, beating Barron Collier in the first round, coming from behind to do it. Naples, of course, had a wild come-from-behind win where they scored 2 touchdowns in the final 10 seconds to knock off Port Charlotte. Naples trailed 7-0 until shocking the Pirates with those 2 late touchdowns. And to break down this game, here's Naples High School coach Bill Kramer. First off, Bill, I know you've moved on to Largo, but I got to ask you real quick about the win over Port Charlotte. 2 touchdowns, the final 10 seconds. I mean, just as you reflect back real quick, just what was it like being on the sideline part of that?
Well, that was great, Adam. I mean, we went for 2, and that was a good choice. The play call wasn't necessarily a good choice, and didn't get it, and a lot of guys thought it was over. And thankfully, we had enough guys believing that it wasn't over, that made plays, and to win like that at the end. Who scores 2 touchdowns in 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds. So really, I'm just grateful. Attitude of gratitude. Maybe some divine intervention there that completely undeserved. Maybe God just knows I'm a knucklehead, so He hooked us up. I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm grateful for it.
It was such a thrilling and exciting game. I think people around the program are still talking about it. Is it hard then to switch gears and kind of say, hey guys, that was over, we got to move on for your players?
Interestingly, no. And I'll tell you why, because when they're up with 9.6 left and we're kicking off, that was pretty sobering for everybody. So it wasn't as if, we've arrived or we're so enthusiastic and happy about that win that we aren't focused right now. Actually, it was like, wow, this season really was just about over. And I think that's helped us to redouble our effort and our focus.
So tell me about Largo, a team that you guys have actually never played. We were talking off camera, you said they're loaded, a bunch of D1 commits.
Yeah.
What do you need to do against the Packers?
We have to be really technical and play fast, be physical and unrelenting on both sides of the ball. If you give in just a little bit to these guys, it'll get bad. So our effort is as important as anything, and we've got good game plans on both sides, and we also can't. We're going to lose the pregame looks test, so that normally is not an issue for us, and I don't anticipate it being an issue on Friday.
Your defense has been playing well. We talked, your offense took a little while to wake up against Port Charlotte, but they did shut them out. Your defense did, but it's going to be another tall task for them. Just how's your defense playing right now?
Sam Dollar and his guys, all the coaches, the defensive guys have been lights out. I think we've got 15. I mean, we haven't really had a drive against us in like 4 games. We've had short fields, we turn it over something, and that's how guys have scored. So I can't say enough about our defense. And they're playing with an incredible amount of energy and intensity, but they're practicing like that. I mean, they're really, really preparing, and then practicing like this is their last chance to be successful in football, and that's what it looks like when they play Friday night.
So for our player spotlight this week, it's actually a double spotlight. I've got 2 guys. I've got an offensive guy, I've got a defensive guy. I got Elon Somola, a sophomore running back, DeAndre St. Jean, a junior cornerback. Elon, let's start with you. Tell me about this offense. Largo has a big defensive front, pretty good defensive team. What does the offense need to go to do to get going?
I think that we're going to game plan very good and practice very well this week. And Coach Kramer and Coach Horn is going to get the O-line right. And I think we'll do very well this week against their D-line.
It took a little bit for you guys to get going last week. I mean, you had those 2 touchdowns in the final 10 seconds, which was really exciting, but weren't any points before that. What mistakes do you need to fix to kind of get going earlier?
I think we need to get going earlier in the game and not so later on, and just take away the mental mistakes, and that's it.
On the defensive side, DeAndre, Largo, a quick team. They've got some skill guys. What's the defense got to do to slow them down on Friday?
We're just gonna do what we kept on doing, watching film, game planning on them, and then play fast and physical.
Yeah, tell me about that. What's been the secret? Because the defense has played very well lately. You guys shut out Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte's only points came on a defensive touchdown. So what's the defense been doing that's playing so well right now?
Watching film. You know,
Yep.
we stay every Monday, make sure we focus during practice and everything. We make sure we try to get each other up, and that's it.
Tell me just about going forward after that big win on Friday night. What did that do for your team? I mean, you guys were, I think, 10 seconds away from losing. How much momentum does that give you? How much excitement did that big win give you?
It gave us a lot of excitement. The defense played very well. The offense, we're just getting better every week, and that's what we really need, is just to get better every week.
And lastly, DeAndre, just tell me about getting to play another game after you guys were so close to losing. I mean, how good does it feel to be back out here this week with your teammates?
It feels wonderful to be out here again. It's a blessing from God. I'm just grateful to be able to play again for this week, and hopefully we can be out here again next week.
So there you have it, guys. Only 2 games this week, but they're going to be 2 great ones. You got Naples High School, you got Immokalee High School. That's Southwest Florida football royalty, the only 2 programs to have won state championships. Trying to do it again. Follow along all week, all Friday night as we cover these games. I'll be here at Naples High School live at 7:15 Friday night for our Prep Zone pregame live. We'll be breaking down both games, showing you pregame scenes. Also follow along on Twitter. I'm NDN_Adam. Come to naplesnews.com/PrepZone all week for updates, stats, polls, predictions, everything. Stay with us because we've got you covered.